G'day everyone, welcome along, welcome to Steelhorse Station. I hope you're all well on this Monday the 12th of June. It's the King's birthday holiday here in Australia, so it has been a holiday for this part of the world, but wherever you might be, I can see John's joining us from the UK where it's Monday morning. Apologies, I was a minute or two late. There's nothing like going and grabbing dinner and thinking you've got everything vaguely under control and coming back to find that both Giants and Microsoft have tried to do an update while you're away, having a bite, and have managed to tangle themselves up, requiring a restart of everything. So, g'day Mark Haythornwaite, good to see you too, sir. But I think I have everything sorted, so let's head across now. 1.10. Just hang on, can I see it? 1.10.1.1 appears to have dropped. I have no idea what it's done, if it's done anything at all, but the combination of it and Microsoft being annoying at the same time was sufficient to screw up. Well, it put me in a position where I didn't want to run the risk of oddities occurring during the stream. I was already, like, for instance, I went to change my audio to be ready to stream, and couldn't get my audio monitor to open, and just spinning wheel. So that's very unusual. So I decided the safest course of action is a restart, which I have now completed, and we've come back in and everything looks fine in here. So I guess we'll find out in due course what, if anything, Giants have done. Now, in terms of catch up, I've just rolled. I haven't rolled the day forward. Okay, let's roll the day forward. That was the plan. That's what happens when you hang in the middle of things and it doesn't take the save. So goodness knows what else I've encountered. Let's wake up at 7 in the morning. The update didn't break the game. It was more that the update stopped me when I attempted to restart because Steam was trying to do something. Now, so we are on July 2nd. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's have a look at the state of play. We have a couple of contracts. Now, let's start with the easy one. So Field 5 is enormous, and we're 3/4 of the way through it. And we've just got one of the kids running backwards and forwards delivering lime. That seems to be going fine. We're harvesting our own field, and in parallel, we're doing field 26, which is almost finished. That is also going very well, and it's right here by the farm. And then you can see I've grabbed 22 and 28. Now, my rationale was fairly straightforward. So 28's the field we've been looking at buying, and we've almost got the cash for it. Very, very close. The first of these contracts that finish will give us the cash. And so my thought was, well, let's take the contract and then we can have a discussion and take points of view about, do we want to do the contract and then buy the field, or do we want to buy the field and take the crop? All these options are open to us. So that's 28. And then the other one we've got is 22, which is sitting over here, which we'll get to in due course. So that's the state of play. So let's tootle around. Where is... Well, let's get the harvester going over here first. Why are you not talking to me? That's the harvester. So this is our field, which I have also started baling in the past day. So I've done the headlands. Just thought I'd get that sorted out. Now, and that got straw out of the way to an extent. Now we need to put you back on there. Off. So we also learnt last time that we can just use the course play functionality now to do the unloader, which is working remarkably well once we got it going. One little quirk for it is that it forgets the offset, and we worked out with this piece of kit that we need a minus 1.5 offset, but we can put this guy on combine unload mode and he will quite happily unload the combine. I have moved the pile of grain, or almost all of the pile of grain that we accidentally dropped in the field while we were trying to get that new course play mode working. So I've been putting that in the silo. There's been lots happening. Welcome along whoever's just popped in. Great to have you here. We're just running through getting everything up and going again. You can see the pile of dirt of grain we made on the field. Luckily we can pick up without, I do not want to grab that. Come on, there we go. We can grab. I hope you folks all had a good weekend. I certainly did. It was nice to have a holiday, even if it still feels very strange calling it the King's birthday on the Queen's birthday weekend. The main significance of which in this part of the world is it's the opening of the ski season. Although not many people talking much about that because we don't have, despite it having been cold and wet, not much snow around other than man-made stuff. Another discovery I had with this silo, just if you're ever do it, there's no tip collision there, and so consequently you can accidentally tip grain out the back of the fill point, which is a trap for young players, and once you tip it there, as you can see, I can't retrieve it. So 30 degrees, oh my goodness, heat wave in the UK. What Massey is this, says Pleasant View Farms. This is the 5465 with a front loader attached. If I go to my small tractors, well, let's go to there. It's out of the 5400 series mod. And welcome along, PVF. It does work very nicely. Quite happy with the range of Masseys we've got here. And ideal for sorting out this mess that I managed to make on the field last time. Come on. Well, it would be, you'd think. Interesting coincidence. We've found it very useful. As you can see, it's got 138 hours on it. Probably, I can't remember, you'd have to go back to the first stream to know how many I started it on, but nonetheless we've still run a few. Maybe we've put 40 on it. Get up there. Almost. A little bit. I'm not going to quite get it, am I? I can just see. There we go. The other thing I've been messing with, which we'll look at in a minute, the Fiat that we've had on there, which works really well and I really like, but was driving me crazy because of its screwed up gearbox. And so, not knowing anything about in-game models and gearboxes, I decided before I just threw it away in frustration, I really should have a go at trying to make it work properly. And I believe I've made some progress. Now, whether I've done it the right way is a whole different story, but I'm happy to take counsel from anyone. BVF's not busy. I suspect he's got gearbox vehicle skills that could be useful. The problem we were experiencing was that it would get stuck in first gear in high range and only do 7 or 13 miles an hour, the standard config, before I started messing with it. And the first correction I made to it, right here, only switched it to, or changed it from 13 back to 7. But I think when we get some grain in it in a minute, we'll find that it works much better. It's not perfect, but it represents, I think, a work in progress project. And so I think I've decided what we'll do is set about fixing it and keeping it, because it's quite a useful size, keeping it as a farm tractor rather than throwing it away. And I'm sure our back manager will be pleased about that. We can have a look at that situation in due course. Right, so that's the grain off the field. We've almost filled all of the chicken coops, which means, get off there, that field had enough for more than enough for our chicken coops. So pretty much over 200,000 litres of crop. The reason I like this is because it's actually right-hand drive, so it belongs. Oh, here comes our refill man. So we are running this on auto drive, although I wonder if we could also put this on course play. But the other two vehicles are running on course play. And as you'll see in a minute, we fairly successfully managed to get crop out of the chaser into our wagon here. And because they're not actually connected, once we got it working, it's actually less complicated to run. But we'll stick with the Fiat just for a minute. We'll see how his gears behave as he drives out of here, because the chaser will easily fill it. There we go. Help if I turned you on, wouldn't it? So he starts off in low range quite successfully. We don't get stuck at 13 miles an hour anymore. We will in fact change gears up through low range. And That's not the truck. There's some bumps in the road that it detects. Jason McKinley. There you go. Well, given that you were instrumental in helping us get it working the other day, I think it's only fair that you see it working properly. And I'm feeling good because I've managed to get this truck performing a little better. If I could now just figure out how it decides when it's running on a worker to shift from low range to high range, life would be sweet. As you can see, apart from the bumps in the road, which every time it detects something it doesn't like cause it to drop back a gear, it's actually traveling much faster than it was the other day, so that's good. I'm happy with that, even if it's not quite perfect. We'll go and look at the XML side of it later and see if anybody has a clever idea. Let's keep going. You're supposed to be delivering somewhere because you've got a full load on. Actually, given how close that contract is to completion, how much do you need to be delivering? Let's have a look. Field 26, details on. To go 24,800. Let's just send all of you. That'll be quicker. Yeah, I've got an empty. I've been in the background taking loads of silage, as you can see, so that's part of how we've got our cash balance up. I can send you now back. I think there's only one left in the clamp. So I'll just flick you on in a second. However you've decided to go, it's a strange piece of the route you've chosen. Don't worry about you after. Going good. Where's the lime? You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. There's the lime man. He's coming back to fill up. I'm trying to remember to get him some fuel. You're gonna be good. Whoop. We do have some eggs which we can flog at some point. That one is now pretty close to full. We'll top him up. That one is pretty close to full. 3/4 of a pallet of eggs. And that one. Okay, so we can do a quick round, and that's a full pallet of eggs. Right. Catching up on where everything is. Now, have we got enough cash? So this is the question of the day. The contract on 26 is almost finished. Do we still want to buy field 28? And yes, we do have enough cash. Well, that's handy. It's a bit of a shame when it only comes up when you can't afford it, but hey, it's promising. You'll probably get another crack at it. So the question is, do we buy field 28 as we've been talking about for some time? We can now afford it. And if we do think we should buy it, which I think I'm probably leaning towards just because of its proximity to our farm, if for nothing else. 28% for field, bugger. Because I took the contract on field 28. Well, that answers that question. Well, that's kind of no, that's the same question. Do we want to complete the contract on field 28? I think the answer is yes, seeing we've started to deliver grain against it. So I think potentially we complete the contract and then buy it. We've kind of made life complicated for ourselves now. Originally it was just going to be a simple decision. Buy it now or do the contract and then buy it. I think the answer is we need to take the crop off it now. So we'll do it that way. We won't be cute. The contract is worth 15 grand. And the answer to the next question you're going to calculate for me is the 67,000 of oats would be worth much more to us. Where are we here? So we really should buy it first and keep the crop. Actually. To notwithstanding, we've just delivered a heap of crop against it. Well, that was going to be my question and plan. Harvest it to storage. Then but once I start to harvest it, if I cancel it, I'll get the penalty. So so either way, I think I'm screwed now because that trailer I just delivered, partially delivered against it. Yeah, it wasn't my intention, right? My intention was to make it a fair and simple. But I think what we're going to have to do now, because I've partially delivered it, I don't think we've got that choice to make. I think we've got to finish delivering it, which means we need to harvest it and complete the contract, and then we'll buy the field. Now, what that could mean is, if we go back to the map, yeah, which is why I think, Mark, the right way to do it is just to complete the contract. And so therefore the question becomes, do we not worry about 28 for the minute, do we look at buying a different field? For instance, we could buy 31, which isn't ready for harvest yet. What's 31 worth? Yeah, so we could buy 31. It's pretty good quality field. It's still got proximity. And then we could just forage it to put in the clams. And we'll just complete the contract on 28 just like we would, and maybe we'll buy that somewhere down the track. I'm thinking that's the right way to go. Given I didn't intend to quite create this complex a question, because I was expecting that truckload of grain would have finished the contracts that were almost done on field 26. So it's just a bit annoying that it didn't. Okay, let's get back. Let's empty you. So the long and the short of it is, it's not as lucrative as it would have been if we had bought the field before we harvested it. But them's the breaks. Stuff happens, so to speak. And we can send you back. Oh, did that before. Yeah, where are we? You're back on the field where you can sit there for the minute. Let's run over here and finish getting this last little bit of crop off here, and then we can run the harvester across the road and do the contract on 28. It will work just fine. Let's take you off there. He's not going to take long. Right. Okay. You're fine. We don't want you to go to East Coast Grain anymore. Yes we do, because we just want you to get the crop. That's all we want you to do. And then we'll set up on 28. Let's see how much is in the combine. Let's have a look what's in the sales today. A big Deutz. Somewhat tempting. $295 horses. Only 7 hours on it. You can't buy that in the field, that's true. Except that that's just come up on the sale, so we've got a day or more potentially to think about it. And if we look at our contracts in progress, we've got 200 odd thousand worth of contracts underway and more to choose from should we get through it. So, and what we do need to still, oh, you mightn't have caught up with it, Mark. We picked up a header for the small sugar beet harvest that came up in the sale for 20 grand. So that worked out really nicely. So we've only got one to buy, which is of course the big one, but that's fine. Let's see where. What is happening here? Lime, fertilizer. Is he around? Oh, he got stuck. That's good. Wasn't the plan, but that means it's convenient because I can interrupt him. Put some fuel in. Oh, get out. Let's try the correct button. It will work better. So what are people thinking about field purchase? Should we just stick with the plan, take our licks and buy 28 after we finish the contract? Or should we do the contract and change course for the minute and buy 30? I presume we could also buy... Yeah, we could buy 30 if we wanted. We could buy... Couldn't buy 27, it's too big. But we could buy any of 29, 30 or 31, depending on what people think. One thereof. Let's back you out of there. Send you back. Over here. Let's not jump in the hedge. You're full. G'day, Grant. Good to see you. Welcome along. Hope it's been a good King's birthday holiday for you. We have much happening. We can see in the background there our chaser wagon successfully unloading to the truck, which is wonderful. Okay, let's go and get the last 20 out of here. Turn you on. Is 27 actually too big? It's certainly too big to buy now because it's 1.2 million. It's good quality field. But I'm not sure we can stretch that far. I think the sort of $500,000 to $600,000 field is the right size for us at the minute. I think if I was going to stretch to there, I'd probably go for 64 first, because this is what I'm considering to be the original Putney estate, which ultimately we want to own. So it was more, 28 sort of leapt out at me originally because it was immediately adjacent along this long edge for the for 95. But yeah, no, 27's 1.159 million, so it's double the trouble. We can think about it for a few minutes, so don't have to decide right away. It's not like the money is burning a hole in the pocket, despite what Mark would have you believe about my propensity to just spend it as soon as we get it in the bank. And for those that haven't caught up and we haven't checked in for a while, our loans down, now that we've got a system that current pays a little bit of it off every month, is down to 733. Now you might say, well, it's still a pretty big loan. Well, given it started at 950, didn't forget the truck is full. And it doesn't really matter because I've just sent him to the same place he was already at. But good pickup. You guys are watching. I'm impressed. Yeah, I must admit at one point during the day it did feel a bit like that, Grant. Now, he's going fine. He's going fine. We could run more bales. Oh, no, we can't. The course that I've got the baler running on needs to start at this side. I've got to finish getting the crop off first. That's all right. Where are you? Oh, there you go. There's a memory for you. And Collingwood got beaten in the football, so that's a good day. Right. Him just trundle along for a minute and finish that last little triangle. What I can do, I think, let's just go here and here. Yeah, no, I didn't mention football, Grant. That's where I want to be. I want to go there. And I want to get that and so if I put that across there, no, let's try and go there. So I was talking about the Fiat that I was messing with before, and this is the XML for it. And this is the config of the engine that I started with. And so the symptom we were seeing with this config, if it means anything to anybody, is that it would get stuck in at doing 13 miles an hour. It didn't matter what I did. If it was running on a worker, it'd get stuck at 13 miles an hour. And so I was looking at this saying, well, wait, clearly it's not right. Something's screwy, and it's very similar to other. I've run into gearbox issues with other mods occasionally, not frequently, just occasionally. And so I thought maybe this time we want to fix it. So I've got it working a little bit better. And if I switch to what I've now changed it to so that you can see the difference. Let's unpop you out of there. Oh. Put you over there like so, and then move you back in and come down to the same, just to give some comparison for a second. Trailer, where are we here? Wheels, base. I went too far, didn't I? There we go. I didn't want to do that. Making it complicated for myself. Test. Where is it? Fiat. One. Now pull you out. Which is which? Which is which, he says. Right. So that's the one I've changed. And this is what it was originally. If this means anything to anybody. So you can see there's the two configurations. So I've tried to leave everything that I didn't need to mess with the same. And adjustment, the first thing I observed when I looked at other mods was this mod actually didn't define the forward gears as having any ratios. So I don't know as default what a vehicle picks up if you don't define the gears. It instead set max speeds. Now, given you've got a high range and a low range, I don't know what that drives. We certainly weren't getting anywhere near the max speeds because it was getting stuck at 13 miles an hour. So that wasn't helping me. And when I go and look at the actual specifications for the real Fiat 682N4, what I find is that it should do between 4 and 6 miles an hour in first. So clearly that config is wrong. And so then what I did was borrowed from another Fiat mod some definitions that actually named the gears and gave them some ratios. And this is the config we're working now, which seems to work better. But my observation is it's still going too fast in the low gears. And it's, I don't understand how to control when it's in use by a worker, when it shifts from low to high. So if anybody's got any clues, feel free to sing out, but that's all I sort of wanted to walk through. We can flick back to the game. I'm not proposing to do a whole bunch of experimentation there. Are you in the way, or did you just give up? Why did you stop? Because you're out of fuel. It's a good reason to stop, but surely there's enough to... There's enough fuel just to finish this little bit, I hope. I don't know if any of you have messed around with vehicle gearbox XML and can point me at anything that I should be doing that I'm not. I haven't done an extensive amount of research, so there's quite possibly other settings I need. So the problem was, John, it wasn't having any effect because so I already had those set, but because the vehicle was getting stuck at 13 miles an hour, it pretty much wasn't getting to the speeds that I wanted to set. So, and when I drove it myself, it would get stuck unless I switched to change the gears manually. So that's why I wanted to experiment with trying to fix it. And you know, as I said, I'd encountered it before. The original mod for the Fiat Agri had that issue. In certain circumstances, it would find an engine speed point where it's almost like it couldn't generate enough torque to force the gear change. It's very odd. The other thing that I've been messing with that I haven't found a successful way to do yet was trying to, well, I was experimenting first to see if with the new bale storage facility it was possible to have multiple triggers that loaded to the same interesting, Jason. I haven't noticed anything. We can test that with Newlands. I haven't noticed so much of a problem at Newlands, but that could be because I reckon I've got the cruise limit at 45. Let's pick you up, turn you off, open you out. Let's try and empty you into the truck first. Got to take you back and put some fuel in you. It's one of those classic things where it'd be just so handy if there was a document, and somebody, a modder might have produced one, but if there was a document out there that you could just refer to that explained what all the settings were for in the XML, you could make the corrections and everything would be sweet. Now, where have I put the trailer? There it is. Oh, that's really interesting. It might also be load related. So an empty Unimog could easily perform slightly differently to a loaded one. Yeah, let's see here. I noticed that to go and restart the lime. Our truck, or our tractor doing the liming on field 5 has probably made it to the field, but he's probably sitting outside waiting for someone to come and tell him to restart. But we'll get this guy going first. Or we'll at least get him filled up with fuel. That'll be a good start. Yeah, but as I was saying, I was just trying to get that to see if the functionality that Giants introduced with those bale storage facilities could be extended so that you could have multiple input triggers going to the same storage. And so what I can report is it doesn't throw a fault if you define multiple triggers, which gives me some confidence that it might be possible. But I can't actually get the second, or I haven't been able to find a way to get the second trigger to work. So it draws it on the map, places it down in a different spot, and there's no errors that throw in the log, but it doesn't. Now, which way around are you? Of course you're that way. So let's drop you like so. Fill you up. And you might well ask, well, why did you want a storage like that would take multiple inputs? Well, I was thinking about our multiple chicken coops, and I thought it'd be really neat if I could just mark out some trigger areas on the map for a separately placed oops. Although I don't think the difficulty changes the yield. I think it just changes what you get paid for it. So I think you'll find the yield's fine. That field 76 that we use regularly to fill our bunker gives us about 800,000 litres of grass, which is part of the reason that I've planted it now with sugar beet. Right, let's go down here. Oops, looks like we should do some maintenance before I do this, actually. So maybe I'll do all of that without unloading everything again. Glad I noticed. To Mark's piece of information the other day, I'm not in the trigger. You're going to be really painful and make me take the header off. Nope. Not that that's really painful, it's my own fault. I should have done this before. Where are you? Repair you for $500, repair you for 2,000. Bingo, bango, bongo. And yes, that did feel like it looked close. I don't believe it affects yield, John. I think it just affects the Yeah, very much like a glove. I think it only, oops, that's not what I want. That's what I want. I think it only affects your prices. So if you change your economy, you'll get, I can't remember the percent. Mark will probably know if he's not caught on a call, what the percentage change to the economy prices is, but it's something like 30% on 30% up on easy, 10% up. So if you use hard as the base, I think it's 10% up for normal and then 30% up for easy, or maybe it works the other way around. Down there, on there. Let's get in there. And let's kill you. No course. 4 meters, 4 headlands. Generate the course. That looks pretty good. Start the job. Okay. As I suspected, he's holding the works up for everybody because he's parked in the road rather than on the field. Wrong one. Onto the field. Go to the last waypoint and off your toddle. There we go. I knew he would know. Oh, huge difference. Oh, that's good news, John. I think they should, Giants should, maybe we should raise a petition, and instead of calling it easy mode, it should just be called Daggerwin mode. A bit of community advertising. I don't want to do anything here. I want to go and get that and get you to drive around the corner. Maybe that's a mod opportunity, Mark. You could do a little mod that would patch the difficulty mode names to give them new handles. Personalize aspects of the game. I really should fix the fact that the only course that it brings me on is through here to get to our persona switcher. There you go. You even got a name for it. Yes, I saw that. I haven't, I don't know if he's put any episodes out. I haven't looked at it. Right. I think you might have said that the other day. And I just got distracted by other things. Happens a lot. I'm fixing one problem and then I get an idea for something else. Hey, you got to sell your own book sometimes, Mark. Yeah, you would get many. Particularly as he would probably use it properly. Virtual Farmer hasn't taken the time to understand how it can help him, because it would just take a few minutes, but he uses it, but inexpertly would be my observation. Now let's see here, let's turn you off, let's fill that one up. We're down here. He would be a really good advert for you, just because it's ideal for his gameplay style, whereas someone like FSG doesn't really take stuff to sell all that often. That's not the way he tends to play. For example, Virtual Farmer does, but he kind of he's usually talking about or focusing on something else. There's that one, and the other one I want. The mod's produced by Time Wasting Productions, if that's the question you're asking, John Senior. TW Productions is his modder name. Oh, there you go. He got in with it. Okay, so that's all of them topped off. And the question is, how much more do we need in Coop 1, or can we just put the rest in our silo at the main farm? Because if I've calculated it, there's lots to think about when you're making a video, Jason. Now let's have a look here before we send the truck back. So you've got just room for another truckload. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Couldn't have gotten closer if I tried. Yeah, so this is the situation where I was thinking it'd be really handy if I could just place a trigger here that would, in each for each of the barns, and then have it linked to a storage facility out here. Now I know I can get an animal. Oh, in fact, I've probably got it. I've probably got one of the ones that does something like that. No. What are they? Factories. Can't even remember how they're showing in here. Maybe they're silos? No. Containers. I know there's mods that do that. Do sort of what I'm talking about. If I can just remember where they're placed. I thought I loaded some. That have an animation light for when inputs are low. Not that I'm aware of. The closest is there's a couple of mods. So I think production revamp and what's the other one? There's a variant of simple inspector. It might be production inspector. Will give you a color coded screen, but I like your idea. You mean like a you mean like a beacon over the door that flashes red when the silo's low. Cool idea. Probably doable, but you'd need a script. Well, not probably, definitely doable, but you would need a script. Because that script would have to run to determine it. Interesting idea though. I like the concept. Anything that improves the visual cues would be good. Now, where are we up to? You're coming back there, waiting because everything's full because I backed everything up. This is where this works really sweet. You'll see it in full force, Jason. So he's going to just park on his auto spot. And the chaser wagon will come across. Can I turn the HUD off here? I can. Let's watch. I can get all the devices in. So the chaser wagon should wake up in a second if he hasn't completely gone to sleep. There he is. He's realised the truck's back. For those that weren't here at the start, just one thing to keep in mind if you're using this mod for your chaser, when you exit the game and restart, it forgets the offset. So you got to go back and put the offset in again because we've got this chaser wagon running on a 1.5 meter offset. Let's do that. So now the truck's gonna leave. If I jump out of there, he's gonna go across now and unload the combine because it's got a bit of space left. Put the HUD back on, we'll see how much. There we go. He's down to half. So clearly if I was running the bigger truck on here, this would be more efficient, but this was always about experimenting rather than getting going. Axie Gaming. Yes, it is. Automation running very well. Welcome along, sir. we did manage to get the chaser working without using auto drive, which I must say I feel quite pleased about. Even if our chaser wagon does dwarf our harvester. Shh, John, shh. You don't have to tell him that. Once because I hadn't done it before, I really was guessing, so I needed a lot of help from our watching audience, and Jason was and John were big encouragers, so we got that sorted. So that's working nicely. Now, where are we up to? We need... And I only tipped one chaser wagon load of grain onto the field, to be fair, which I have already been to clean up, so I don't think that's too bad. He's going to make his own way. Now, where are we? You've got to go to the other field because the other harvester will be ready for an unload. It's all happening. When do you jet off to the Sunny Isles, Argsy? I believe they've had their summer week this week, so you won't need to pack any warm weather gear. It did exactly tip where I told it to. The fact that I told it to tip in the wrong spot should not be forgotten. I should really move that trailer because I know for a fact that's going to get in the way. Now, where's this harvester? It's got to be around here somewhere. Ah, only a fortnight to go. Very good. Well, that's starting to get close enough to get exciting. Is it a whole of family affair or just you and Mrs. Argsy? Somewhere around here I'll find a harvester. I could have gone the other way, couldn't I? I'd looked at the map before I started driving. Yeah, I remember those days. Working 18 hours a day in the weeks leading up and the days leading up to your flight out. Ah, cool. Oh, you'll have an amazing time. We're heading off in the middle of August at this stage. Let's get out of his way. Yeah, it's only one. Now, if I just... Let's just have a look at course play here. Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's common these days in most European cities. It's very annoying. My son's girlfriend's parents just got back from a trip and they got done in Paris literally as they arrived. They've still got no idea how it happened, but now if I want to create a job, load combine. So if I want it to go to East Coast Grain, unload combine there, field position there. Actually, field positions probably there is better. Now, is that going to... Please, sir, I want some more. The question I have, is that going to take it? Let's find out. So it looks like it is. It's going to grab the grain and take it to East Coast Grain. So let's find out. And if I flick it, the target position is actually just up in front of him, but I think that's where he's trying to get to. Let's just get him back around and see what he does. Based on the other day when he was just working headlands, there's every chance he's going to hair across the crop in a minute anyway. Let's try that again. No. You got a... Yeah, so we've got one of the Putney kids in there. I think the start position in this mode, and you can see where I set it. So I set it over here. No, I set it here. I think it only affects when he comes back from the drop-off point where he comes to the field. So let's just follow him for a bit. I can turn auto drive off because so there's no confusion. And the only thing that I find interesting, which is what we saw the other day, is the fact that he weaves up the course. The vehicles were doing that the other day too. What are you doing out there? Because there's no collisions on the hedges and the harvester's coming towards him, he's decided to leave more space. This'll Oh, okay. What have you gotten stuck on? Or are you just waiting for the harvester? You're just waiting for the harvester, I think. Wheels aren't turning, so... Come on. I'm curious to see if you'll figure... Yep, you figured it out. At least he didn't drive over my crop. I don't know why you're going back down that way, though. You've got all of that headland to work down. There we go. Just like I bought one. Mind you, we did get this far the other day and then I managed to tip the crop on the field, but in my defense, I had no clues what to do. 5 down. Yeah, I've done a couple of 5. I've done an 8-hour stint in Heathrow, I think. There's only one way that makes that work, and that's if you've got lounge access. It's worth buying a lounge pass, actually. Now, what's he up to? 57%, so he's not ready to go yet. Let's go and check on someone else and just trust that he's sort of figured it out. There's my last load of that lot. Feels very weird to look up and see we got 600,000. Generally speaking, in Heathrow, customs is the easy bit. It's immigration that's the crapshoot. It can be really quick or it can be terribly long. But yes, I agree. If you're changing terminals, you'll have... that'll chew up some time. Now you can go back to Putney Yard delivery. Yeah, basically, well, so yes. Unless the queue to get to the passport reader is like it was the last time I travelled through there, which admittedly was pre-COVID, and that queue was 2.5 hours long. Yeah, once I got up to the window where I could scan my thing, it was fine. It was just really slow. All right, we're stuck somewhere. What are you waiting for? You should be emptying... Oh, unless the harvester's run out of fuel, which is a possibility. No, not yet. I've spent too much of my life in airports. And just when you think you've figured it out, one somewhere around the world changes something that and doesn't bother to tell anyone. That's always fun. He is indeed. Will be quite an event, I'm sure. Now, what are you doing here? Yeah, you've got to do that. And that. Now, you just need to put your last load in the chicken coop. If we've got the calculations correct, we shouldn't need to deliver any more food to the chickens for another year. With any luck. Did I shut that? Looks like I did. I shut all of them. Come on. There we go. Righty ho, so let's have a look at the chickens. The chicken coop one's got none in it at the minute. Chicken coop 2 is full, chicken coop 3 is full, and chicken coop 4 is full. Excellent. What did I lift that I shouldn't have lifted? I'm pretty good at not flipping things. That's the button I want to press. Right. Chickens are done. Ah. Yep, oh, I probably have got it on. Yes, I do. It comes in handy. Now, where are we going? Okay, you're supervising there fairly well. I think we're on track, actually. Yeah. So which field are we going to buy, folks? Has anybody had any inspiration? $43. 43. 43 is not a bad. 43 is it's crappy land. The land on 31 is much better. The only downside of 31 is that it's across the street. Let's just wander over there and have a look. Then scan. Yeah, but scanning and is not going to improve it. It's still going to be crap. Oh, sorry, 31 then. Scan and FERT. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever we do, scanning and fertilizing will be in the plan, but the yield will be right. This map is fabulous. I'm having an absolute ball on here. What are we? Am I on the right one? No, that's 30. Yeah, the only reason that I didn't sign up to join you guys is I couldn't figure out where to find the time, given that I'm streaming on this, because I'm actually finding there's quite a bit of work to do between streams in order to keep the story moving. This is 31. Oh, it's canola. It's not corn. And the yield is awful, which is what you're alluding to, Mark. So the view is buy it and then improve it and harvest it. Okay. I think I'm sold. It's just over the road. It meets the requirements. Let's go ahead and do that. So we need... Yeah, it does take a while. That's why that's kind of an essential part of our storyline here, Argsy, with the Putneys. So the Putney family farm is down here in the middle, and the original Putney Manor, we've decided, is this block here, which is sort of what we're working back towards. Now, the big advantage the Putneys have is that there are 5 children of working age, and so the automation that we've set up is an important part of how we operate the map. And I think it's, it's fun, and B, I think it's working fairly well. So it means we can run multiple contracts at the same time. We've always got kids available to ferry equipment around, so we can run course play with a 0 cost. And what am I trying to do? I'm trying to go there so that we can buy that for 553,000. Yes. Okay, we bought a field. We do not own the oil mill on here. Yeah, so I'll just jump over there. So this is the original family homestead. And when we started out, we had just this junky yard here. And over here we use the daily deductions mod. So each of these is the monthly salary for one of the children. So we've got the opportunity to increase it. So big oil cans, 1,000, the medium-sized ones 500, and the cubes 100. So $1,600 a month they get paid. And then we've just been working out, this is the family chicken coop, so it only holds 47 chooks. Bessie and Mabel are the family cows. There's only 2 of them, they just sit in here. We've got a little farm stand so we can sell the eggs from the Mars kitchen and a couple of little things, but otherwise this isn't available for missions and we don't sell bulk produce. And we're gradually working our way up. We've built the yard at the top of the hill here. So we own these 2 fields on the left and this field here on the right, which is where we had the automation going before. And we've cut quite a bit of grass. So they started out with grass. Oh, there you go. Very good, Mark. So this is the yard we've gradually been developing. It was just a straight crappy grass field when we began, but we've been putting stuff in and paving it out. What else do we do that's just a little bit different? Because they started with a $950,000 or pound mortgage, they have no standing in the local community, and whilst farmers will let them do contracts, there's no equipment, so we can't do a contract unless we've got the equipment to progress it. So that combination of things just makes the finances a little bit more, or the financial constraints a little bit more significant. That lime spreader is stuck again because I've driven something in front of it. Oops, there we go. Let's put you away. Would be a better strategy. Thank you. I have tidied up some of the no light and no brakes. Who would that be? I have tidied up some of the auto drive routes through that yard, but it's still a little bit messy. Oops. So it's slightly tidier. There is a gap in the middle. I was thinking of planting something there, like doing a little garden bed or something as a turning circle, but haven't got to that. Where do I want you to go? I want you in the shed. Yeah, I will. I figured it wasn't important for now, Mark, because it's not a full load. We've still got 100k there. And we seem to, whoops. We seem to make that pretty regularly. We're going to have to cut that grass shortly. But it's 9:15. And I am thinking this... Yes, it does. Absolutely it does. Yeah, the changes I made to take out the duplication and change the capacity, it works fine. I can't be sure which of the edits I made the difference, but it definitely works properly. I haven't lost any since the early days. Yeah, there you go. Time to scan a field. Indeed. So the scanner, I think, is down here. It is. And we need a tractor with skinny tires. Like you. Have you got skinny tires on? I can't remember. You might do. Oops. Bugger. Wrong button. That one. Narrows. I have got narrows on it. It's a good reminder, Mark, because I would have forgotten for sure. Until after I did something to it. Church bells are ringing. I don't know why that reminds me of the Monty Python sketch. Probably because it's the same church bell sequence. Yes, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? We shall dispatch you. The easiest is to send you to there. Very complex family, the Putneys. Oops. What's going on here? Coursplay's got itself in a tangle. That's a good example where I set that point right on the field. Okay, folks, well, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. We will be back on Newlands in the morning, my time, so 9.5 hours or so from now. And I look forward to maybe seeing some of you there. We've got a few things going. We're ready to I prep the field where we're going to plant the olives. So we should be able to, if we can generate a bit more cash, we should be able to start putting some olive groves in. But as usual, plenty to do. The pigs take heaps of work. Thanks very much for popping in, Argsy. It's very much appreciated. And everybody else. And we'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks. Bye for now.